All right, so here's another corner calls. Mom sold her body to feed us, and this is another tell me pastor story. So they're past. I'm 21. When I was 12, my sister and I suspected her mother was working at nights on the streets. She was never home. By the time I was 15, and yeah, here goes the repercussions of our mom's decisions. I had sex with three different guys. I lost my virginity when I was 15. The guy was 19, and yeah, that's a statutory rape right there, my friend. And he used to give me everything asked him for. Basically, that he was basically a sugar daddy. I told my sister I had sex with the guy, and she did not like because she told me that the guy was basically seen her too, and basically when the cat came out, they basically her relationship with that 19-year-old guy who basically can get in who should be arrested for having sex with a minor. And yeah, I know he's a teenager still, but that is yeah, but he still can get in trouble for that though. All right. My mother said that did not know I was going to my sister and myself. My sister used to bring home plenty of money from her boyfriend. So basically, her sister's carrying on the family business. He was in business and was married. So basically, her sister was the mistress for a married guy who should have known better. They don't mention how old her sister was, but I am going to assume either she was of age or not. If not, that married man needs to be arrested along with that 19-year-old guy as well. All right. Any man who wanted me, I used to tell my sister she would tell me whether I should go with them. By the time 6 and a half, I slept with six guys. No, this is diverting. This is basically diverging from. Diverting. I'm sorry, from the mom who's mom. But I'm just reading the repercussions of her mom's life because apparently her two daughters have carried on her example. When my mom was 45, I had a birthday for her. She was surprised. She asked where we got the money. Yeah, basically we're doing the same thing she was doing. So my mother told my sister she hoped she never whore herself. Mother told my sister she hoped she never whore herself as she did to support her. Basically, that means that the mom knows that knows that she didn't want her daughters to become what she did, and unfortunately, that did not happen. All right, and she said she also told that um all right. One day my mother, um, okay, sorry, I mentioned one day my mother and sister had a fuss, and my sister disgraced in presence of her neighbors by calling her, basically saying, "I know what you're doing as a living, even though I'm doing the same thing," and so on. All right, all right, and so on. And they said, no, although my mother practiced prostitution, she had enough common sense and decency not to bring her clients to the house. But we know what she did for a living. Helped her to buy a house. She's now running a bar and told us that those days are gone. And basically said, I have a boyfriend and he loves me, but sometimes when things are hard, I'm basically tempted to basically step out on him. All right. And basically what she's saying is that both her and her sister, due to her mother's choices, they're basically are continuing the family business or continue the same cycle. And what I basically said is that on one hand, I mean, like her mom, I think it indicated that even though mom was basically a lady of the night, at least I think she's basically indicated that she was doing it to feed her children, even though that was a profession that's not anybody with children should ever go into. I mean, like there's certain professions that if you have children that you should never do because the chance of them finding out what you're doing that can either alienate those children from you or they might take up your bad examples and continue that business. Like again, The Godfather was a good example, like with Vito Corleone and his youngest son Michael. And you know, Vito was a reputed gangster and a murderer, and just a hardened criminal. He basically didn't want his son Michael, unlike his older brother, um, Sonny, to take up to be go into the mob business, the family business. Like he wanted him to have a life where he didn't go into crime, just become a person of repute and so on, good repute, if there's that word exists. But the joke was that at the end of first Godfather, that Michael Corleone, I mean, especially after his father had a heart attack and he got assaulted, and then the family came under attack, and usually that he ended up becoming a stone cold gangster just like his father and his older brother Sonny. And the funny thing is that Vito in the end that broke his heart. He said like he really didn't want Michael to go down the road that he and his older brother went down. But the end of the day is that Michael, as a result of his father and his brother's choice, especially, he ended up going down taking that dark path. And we all know how Michael turned out towards the end in the Godfather trilogy. Like he became even more dangerous than his father and his brother. And that's what I'm saying is like, and this is basically Vito, the repercussions of Vito Corleone's life of crime came back to haunt him when his youngest child ended up becoming ended up becoming a criminal just like himself, even though he didn't want Michael to be in that business. And that's a parallel right here, is that the mom's lifestyle of becoming a prostitute came back to bite her full force because both her daughters are basically prostitutes themselves, and it's just basically they both resent their mother for the choices that they made, basically, and as a result that there's still internal strife within that family. And yeah, people can argue that maybe the mom didn't have much of a choice, that the mom did not that the mom um so they said that the mom maybe she things were so hard that maybe none of the family members helped her. Maybe she tried to make a decent living, but she was underpaid, couldn't get a good decent job, and she basically had to drop the panties to keep food on the table and a house over their head. You can argue that though, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because those even she's basically saying that my choices basically led to my daughters taking the same road that I did. And it's not even the fact that the daughters may have to do it, it's just the fact that the daughters became so enraged and so um, despiteful towards their mom for what she did, that they said, rather than being doing the opposite of what she is, they said, okay, let's just drop her panties just like her mom did. And yeah, you could argue that maybe they think, okay, the fact that that's what my mom does and it's normalized in from their point of view, we can be whores too. And again, the sins of the mom have come back to haunt her. That's what the right or wrong. I mean, like again, I don't know. And the fact that she decided don't know her fathers mean that both her and her sister have two different fathers. That also contributed to it because chances are the fathers probably two over the mom's customers as well that didn't use protection. So this is what the case study is, though, is that right or wrong, and again, I'm not going to judge a mom unless it can be proven that she had literally no choice, nobody or her family supports her, maybe harshness ran the mom's family. This is just a case study of what happens when the sins of the parents come back to are cast down on the children. All I can hope is that the daughters kind of does get some counseling, move beyond it, probably forgive their mom and said, okay, let's not be like her mom. Let's just be the opposite. Because a lot of feels that they're just doing just to spite the mom. And I don't think that they should. Because if they have children, they decide to still be prostitutes, their children are going to continue that behavior. Even if they have daughters, if they have sons, same thing. But that's all I have to say. So this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube pages, Miles Goods and Farron, Miles Productions, and Real Thoughts of Miles. Okay.